Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Butcher's Circus, and today we have a very exciting match to play. I'm playing against Richtofen the Zombie Killer. It actually hasn't been too long, I feel like I've been playing against him more and more often these days. But this time we have a very cool matchup, so it took my opponent quite a long time to actually start playing, probably because they were analyzing my team, because this isn't really what I'd usually bring in a sort of, into ladder, honestly. This is called the Lunatics team. It was made by someone called Jane Moon from the Discord server. Quite a nice person overall. I very much love playing with them. When they actually did play, they've since retired. I feel like so many people have retired from the circus. It's so annoying. I want to play with them and play with their teams and just have all kinds of fun, but it has been difficult. But this team is sort of an anti-stress damage team, as well as having a riposte, so it's kind of what it's here to do. It has the Musketeer instead of having like an Arbalist, and what that allows you to do is to use ranging shot with your brass bugle, and as well as your tincture of iodine to counter the things that Arbalist usually doesn't counter, so I do find it to be quite nice. Now what I'm gonna go for here is, I must admit that I am in quite an odd situation here, having my Musketeer already in position 1, so it's not actually ideal, but it is something that I'll just have to accept. It's unfortunate, but such is the way of the Butcher's Circus. Now, do I have enough accuracy to hit? Considering that he has 0 dodge because of the Vendetta debuff, I do think I have enough accuracy, so let's go for that, and boom, nice damage onto the Occultist. So, in terms of how this matchup is going, I did not get to go first, which is unfortunate, but it's also not the end of the world here. I can just kind of ignore my opponent right now, just do a ranging shot instead of just playing into their little regen game. I really don't have to drop a buckshot here if I don't want to, and I really don't want to. I don't want to give this Occultist a free move back. I don't think that would be particularly smart. So right now the Abomination is obviously going to stun my Musketeer. She's way too valuable to be left, not just alive, but also to be left with her turns. So they're just going to get rid of that, and I guess since they go first, I might just wait around and find out. Maybe. It is a difficult situation for me to be in. I still have a lot of offensive moves at the moment, so that's pretty good, but the Occultist could just move back, or there could be a guard here. It's going to be really difficult for me to get a kill, is what I'm trying to say here. But I will still just pass for now and kind of just adapt to what my opponent does. But it is a rough situation because this team might have a good matchup against the stress teams in terms of how it actually just clears that crazy amount of stress with Brass Bugle, and also gives you minus stress taken and accuracy. But it also has a big problem trying to deal with guards because it doesn't have the usual tools to deal with it. You don't have your stabilizing tiller, you don't have your double stun crusader, you don't have your jesters. It's kind of you don't have your abominations. It's definitely a different spot to be in. So right now I'm actually that feels weird though. I'm gonna drop the caltrops here before I run out of time, even though it's really not what I want to be doing, dropping the caltrops here. I was thinking of going for maybe a Holy Lance first, but I ended up deciding against it. Now they're just going to regen here, so there's really no point in me doing a number of things at the moment. So instead what I will go for might just... they might want to Abyssal Artillery actually. So I'm gonna go for the Duelist Advance right now onto the Abomination. I think this is my best move, because if they want to Abyssal Artillery here, they can't do it for free, because then they'll drop. They should drop to this door, but that crit heal is gonna make it a little bit more difficult on me. Quite a significant amount more difficult actually, because Abyssal Artillery becomes possible now, since they don't actually have the... Now I do have the Vendetta buff, but since I have a battle debuff, there is a very good chance I don't do 13 damage there. But since that didn't happen, I will just go for the Holy Lance right now, 9 to 14, and oh my goodness, I do just barely enough. Just barely enough. I no longer have my caltrops to break through the guard, so that's a tiny touch unfortunate, but it is also completely my fault, so I cannot complain too much about it. And what I'm thinking of going for right now might actually be a uppercut onto the Flatron, just to make sure that he doesn't get his action. Because there's no way I can actually kill this occultist right now. All my opponent has to do is just go for the guard, and then there's nothing I can do. But oh, that is really unfortunate. The uppercut just failing completely. Even though I have the grappling mids, the move chance is an 85, but it just doesn't work. That's really bad. That's really bad, but I think my opponent misplays a bit harder than me going for that move. Oh my goodness, is that my second Vigorous in a row? Like, yesterday's video I think was also a Vigorous, wasn't it? Damn, that's good. That is really good. Okay then, I will take this potential victory, because what I can do right now is just go for a duelist advance, and now this occultist has a serious chance of dying. It's a 35% chance that he dies here. It would be more if I had gotten the knockback on the flagellant, but since I didn't, then, you know, it's just a touch unfortunate. Really a misplay on my opponent's part, kind of a misplay I was not expecting from Richtofen, because this is someone that has been playing like from the first week of the Butcher's Circus, so I would not expect him to do, to actually even misplay at all, or, you know, you can always expect someone to misplay, but not do an egregious misplay like leaving their occultist at this door when they could quite easily save him with the defender, even though you usually don't defender against a damage team unless you have stun resistance. Like, if you have your characters in positions 3 and 4, even if this was WD, it would probably be quite safe. But they just decide against it. They decide to go for the bell instead, trying to get the affliction on me. Quite a risky move, I will say. And now I am in a weird spot with my characters. Do I want to move back and die? Or do I want to move back and maybe live? Well, maybe live sounds very good, doesn't it? Yes, maybe live does sound very good. I will say that much. The one move they have to hit me right now is either Manacles or Rage, and that's definitely what you're going to be going for. Most likely the Manacles, just to make sure that even if I do survive, they do get to remove my action. But no, they will be going for the V-Spile instead, and I will be going Afflicted here. So let's see, what do I get? I get the Masochistic. Yeah, I feel like they just kind of pray that they get the death blow there, and I think actually going for the V-Spile there might have been a better play. Also, Masochistic's horrendous, but we'll live with it, right? I think that was actually a good play on their end, because if they don't do that, their Abomination would be really squishy and very vulnerable after that. So I do agree with their move there. One thing I can do right now is kind of put my opponent in check here. I can go for an uppercut on their flagellant. Maybe it works second time around. Thankfully the flagellant doesn't have a, a bleeding lance or something like the Crusader does, so he can't just directly hit my Musketeer all the way from the back. Kind of surprising that I get the push but not the stun. That is, I mean, the daze. That is something that does happen, and it is indeed surprising. And right now I am safe to go for my Musketeer action, so I will click her and the self mark, my beloved. Okay, I love it. And I'm gonna go for a heal here that is gonna give me some blight resistance as well as clearing the blight, and I should be alive here, and after this I might be able to spam 1 or 2 more ranging shots, and that will be really game changing. So right now, if I'm lucky, I just win the match, but I have to get quite lucky. I do have the Vendetta buff, but I also have 5 to 10 is really not enough, is it? If I crit, it's enough. But no, I only do 9 damage. Well, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. I was hoping to do a tiny touch more than that, but I haven't even touched on the trinkets actually. I probably should have done that a very long time ago, but this is not going to stun, it shouldn't. Wow, that's really unfortunate if you're my opponent. I don't even have a stun trinket. I mean, I have 1 stun trinket, not even 2, and I go for the stun while you have extra stun resistance from being at Death Star and still get it? How lucky am I this match? I mean, I know it was still, what, a 45, so it was still a pretty good chance of getting it, but I still think it was the best move to go for that, but it really is unfortunate to be my opponent right now. Of course, they only have 1 move to do, which is Defender. And what I can do is maybe just go for the win, because all I need to do right now is get a 50-50 stun, and the win is pretty much guaranteed to be mine. So even though it's a 50-50, I will still go for it, but that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Maybe you should run Brass Knuckles on this Crusader instead of the Rite of Execution. Probably a better move. than what I have right now. Not having it is actually really going to hurt me, but I know such is the way with the Butcher's Circus. What I will do right now is just go ahead, click and drop a ranging shot and pray that it works. Has he transformed twice? I'm pretty sure he has, right? I'm pretty sure there has been a second transformation. Yes, there has been. And look at this, even with 2 transformations, my characters are not stressed. Apart from the Musketeer and the Crusader, which got hit pretty hard by... Oh, that's risky. Oh, 6 damage! Are you kidding me? 6 damage on the riposte! Simon sucks. Yeah, apart from these 2 characters which got focused pretty hard, these 2 have been basically fine just from dropping 2 ranging shots. As well as, of course, the Highman having this crazy, crazy psychotic, schizophrenic setup of having the numbing instance and the sturdy buckle giving him 70 stun resistance, which honestly isn't enough, but it's a little more than he would have otherwise. I'm gonna go for this right now, hope for the crit. If there was a crit there, he'd just be dead. I didn't even need a crit now, I just needed a high roll on my riposte, not a freaking 6, and he would be dead regardless. But this does make things a little bit trickier for me. Of course, doing damage to doing this isn't gonna work. I could do this, but after I do that, I just drop a big redeem, and I don't really go anywhere. I don't really go anywhere after doing such a move, so I could try to go for something else. There's really no good move for me. I will just do this, I guess. Do a little bit of damage to the man-at-arms. There's really no good move for my bounty hunter right now. I guess I could move back, maybe, but I don't know, he's just in a weird spot at the moment. That's a very odd exsanguinate, if I do say so myself. And for the bounty hunter right there, I would have expected maybe a redeem to come down, but they want to go for the exsanguinates, not the redeems. I guess in that case, I will hit them with the stunning blow, and they should pretty much lose the match here, I think. After something like that. Shep, why does your stunning blow do 12 damage? Oh my god. I'll explain, it's very easy actually. The reason it does 12 damage is because Vigorous gives you plus 40% damage if you're going first, if you didn't know, so... Yeah, getting the Vigorous here was pretty massive. Pretty freaking massive. Okay, now here's the thing. Do I get enough damage? Is the big question. That is the big question. I can't clear debuffs, I'm not an Arbalist. I get 8 to 16, I roll for 13, which isn't enough. He is dazed, so I do have that on my side here. He is indeed dazed. Am I taking enough damage? Not quite. I could... Ranging shot, or I could go for a heal to just clear his HP and keep him safe for a little bit, because there is that... I'm pretty sure I do enough damage. Bring him down to 0, right? Well, with this I will do enough damage for sure. Yeah, you know what, let's do that. Let's do that, just in case Finish him wants to be kind of a dick, because I do have a battle debuff and he does have 10% protection, so I am a little bit worried. Yeah, 7 to 18, there was a chance that it didn't do enough damage, but if we do this, it will do enough now. So what my opponent has to do now is once again change the guard back to the Flagellant. I wonder if they actually do it, or if they just go for their Abomination turn. No, they do just change the guard back to the Flagellant, so the Flagellant stays safe, but now I can go for yet another stun onto this Abomination, but once again, see my damage. It's an extra 40%, but this time I actually don't get it. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, plus 40% from Virtue if you go first. It's really cool that Vigorous has that. It's already a really good Virtue to get because of the extra healing, but getting that on top is just very nutty. Doesn't it give you dodge as well? It says it's only 5 here. I thought it gave you a little bit extra dodge. I thought it would bring you up to 7. I don't know why it isn't doing that right now. Odd. I really don't know why. I used to think it did that, but apparently I was wrong. Apparently I was wrong. Well, they heal for a little bit there. I'm pretty sure you can do enough damage. -5. I might be able to do enough damage. You definitely do more, but that's kind of saved for the redeem, because they heal for 15 with the redeem, I think. And you move, and you do that. Okay. Well, that's a tiny touch unfortunate. Let's do this instead then, let's just do this. I do get a knockback here, which is kind of bad for me, because now it will be a little bit more difficult for my Crusader to actually be useful. He will just have to go for the stuns from now on, but the corpse should be going away soon enough, I think. So it's also okay, but my opponent just throws the match here by doing that. So I am gonna lose my Bounty Hunter. There's a chance I lose my Bounty Hunter, but there's also a very serious chance. I mean, it's a guaranteed chance that they actually lose their Abomination right now. And as strong as Flagellant Man-at-Arms are, you've already used up one of your Exsanguinates, and I still have these very 3 strong characters, so I doubt that you win this sort of endgame. So we're kind of just simplifying, if you know that term from chess, but I don't think this was a very good simplification for my opponent. I feel like they could have saved the Abomination there with a Redeem. They were safe here, then I could try shooting, but they still had one more Absolution. They were perfectly fine here to just keep going and use those Redeems. Just use them up even though you have minus healing skills. But they decide not to, and now they're gonna go for the bell instead of trying to go for the death blow. Odd. Such an odd choice by my opponent. Such odd ideas, and they're gonna go hopeless. Okay, that's not terrible. That's not terrible, Bounty Hunter. It could be worse. I get a little bit of a self-heal there. I will very much appreciate it, and I'm just gonna drop a heal here. Even though, after the punish, or even after dropping to Death Star, I will go right back down to 0. I don't really mind it, I just don't want to stay at Death Star right now. That wouldn't be ideal. They don't have to go... Oh, that's real. Okay, okay, I see how it is. Maybe my opponent does have a chance, huh? With RNG like that, maybe they do have a chance here. Well, 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 it would appear that the buffoon is flummoxed. Okay, okay, how do I want to deal with this? I think a heal here would be wise, just to keep him out of this door. And then he'll just try to be useful and fail miserably, right? I think that's the move. I think he could move back here. But yes, first let's heal him. Okay. Okay. Ranging shot it is. Let's heal a little bit of that stress. Thankfully it does work. I will say ranging shot only has an 85% chance of working, so I've used it like 3 to 4 times this match, and all of them have worked. And while I say 85% chance of working, it's only the minus stress. You're always going to get the D-stealth if you hit, and you're always going to get a plus 10 accuracy, minus 10% stress taken, so it's never a complete disaster. It is still disastrous if you don't get it, but it's not a complete disaster, so it's fine. I think that... oh, I can't even move back all the way now. That's not smart. Let's just go for a pull here. I think this is okay. Let's just go for a pull, put him in position 1. It doesn't really change much, but I don't know, it could make a difference. Now with the guard break potential, and I think we just 2 to 4 damage. Oh my goodness, yeah. Maybe they do win this. Maybe they do win this. We'll see. We'll see. They have a chance of killing me right now if they go for the rampart. I wonder if they do that. I don't think they do. Because they could have done that already and they didn't, they just went for the Velos. They do love that Velos stress. No, they're gonna go for the Rampart, it's a 25, they don't get it. Unfortunate, quite unfortunate. They failed 2 25s, I think. And I stay alive because of it. Ooh, the guard is gone, the guard is gone. I would very much love to go for the pull now on the corpse, but I can't anymore, so that's unfortunate. If they do go for the punish here, I could punish them, but it's gonna be easier said than done, so... that's not too helpful. Alright. No, just go away. Okay. Okay, let's think for a second. There's no world where I do enough damage, is there? No, I don't think so. I could just heal myself here. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to heal myself with the Musketeer and kind of just accept that Bounty Hunter is gone. It's unfortunate, but it is the path that he himself chose when he refused 2 heals. And he's also dazed, so it's going to be really difficult to save him here, but we'll see what I can do. I think that my best play right now is quite obvious. I have to self-heal for 5, that's good, and I have to go for the all-in onto this Flagellant. I go for the Holy Lance, I go for the Wicked Slice, and I try to get a kill with the finish him. That's what I have to do right now. So here it comes, and thankfully it is enough damage, which is huge, and now the finish him could be the death blow. Imagine having a Flagellant and dying with 2 redeems and Exsanguinate. Okay, thank you, Bounty Hunter. An actually decent act out. Thank you so much. And right now it is literally impossible for my opponent to win, so they might as well surrender. And the Lunar Ticks actually take the W. Quite a difficult match to play through with all the difficulties we went through. But from now on, it is impossible for my opponent to win. Why is it impossible, Chef? Well, if you have a Crusader who's virtuous, it's borderline impossible, because he's never gonna act out, he's always gonna be able to drop those heals, and they still have to deal with all my characters, and even if they didn't, you saw my Highman with all the anti-stress he had. He was like at 40 stress by the end of the match. Dude doesn't know what stress is with this setup. He has minus 45% stress taken. It really is quite amazing. So we beat Richtofen's quite cool team with this. Now I will say there's different ways you can play this. You can of course bring 2 stun trinkets, then you'd probably have a better time. And I think that's actually what Jane Moon does, just brings 2 stun trinkets and kind of doesn't use cells all that much. And there's also another thing you can do is make this kind of a pseudo stress team, just bring Grape Shot and Zealous, but I kind of just went for the balance approach, brought Wicked Slice and Zealous, and just kind of praying that my opponent doesn't have guards. Kind of just hoping for that, because guards have sort of fallen out of fashion with all the ways you have to break them. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers!